Hi, I wanted to do a video about the new arcade I built. I had a few design goals in mind while I was working on this. One was to use as many recycled materials as I could, so a lot of them came from local thrift stores. Another goal was to have it in a small form factor. So this is a pretty traditional looking bar top setup, but I also wanted to allow two people to be able to play. So there was some work that went into designing the controls to fit and still be comfortable. And the third big goal was to, as effectively recreate the arcade experience that I remember from the 80s and 90s. So I'll just walk around and show you some of the features that I think do a pretty good job of accomplishing those things. So it's a 6-button setup and a couple of additional buttons for start and select. There is a coin acceptor for both player 1 and player 2, which took some real effort to figure out and wire up. I think it's worth it though, because it really does give you that arcade feel. There's some pretty cool stuff going on in this guy. So got this slick little matching handle to be able to easily open it up. Got your high quality magnet and hook to give you just a little bit of a little grip. Again, in keeping with trying to do this as cheaply as possible, you can see my cheap coin trays here. They're just the boxes for the coin acceptors themselves. I tried to do a decent job with cable management. There is an awful lot packed into a tiny space. This is powered by a Raspberry Pi 3. It does a great job for its size and its cost. You can't complain. It runs an awful lot of stuff on the particular build of MAME and Final Burn Alpha you can put on the machine. And of course you get, third, fourth generation console stuff, SNES, Genesis. I think you can run some, PlayStation N64 stuff, but I don't have any of that on here. So yeah, it works for the size. I'd like to build another one with a full PC at some point, but it's good for what it does in here. It keeps this thing relatively lightweight and portable. It's about 45, 50 pounds with all the stuff in it. More if you put a ton of quarters in. And one of the little design things that I'm pretty proud of here is there's a power strip in here that I cut apart and wired into a little switch that takes a universal plug, and it has a 5-amp fuse that I added to it and wired up. So you give you a little protection, and it keeps all the messy stuff inside. If not perfectly organized on the inside, it's at least not viewable. So, let me make sure I still have the coin acceptor here. Oh yes, perfect. When I flip this, everything should turn on because of the way it's wired and programmed. So you get some hot lighting. Display's not coming on for some reason. I did mess with some stuff. Maybe I killed it. That's plugged in. That's plugged in. That's plugged in. Okay. Maybe it just needed a little coercing. That's evocative of the high quality nature of this build. You can see there, I just quickly drilled some holes here for the speakers that are mounted inside, and it works pretty well. despite being a little rough around the edges. So let's just try a MAME game. Let's go to one of the best. Oh yes. So this is running RetroPie, which is great for configuring things and keeping it all organized between all the different emulators. It's running RetroArch in the background, so you config in one place and you're good to go. Some of the software stuff did take a while to sort out. The coin acceptors were a real challenge, but they do give you a nice arcade feel now. Let me dig into the well of quarters. Alright, let's just see. Give me some credits. Okay. Hey! I guess need to look at the tutorial. Okay, there you go. Credits. This was the credit button, but now I've got it hooked up to take screenshots. So if you accomplish something particularly amazing, you can take a quick screenshot of it. Some of the design things, I knew I wanted it to be kind of bright and garish and colorful, and again, like evocative of those 80s and 90s sorts of over-designed bright things in your face. So I named it the Retrograde Arcade. Thought that was just sort of, again, evocative of that period, the ridiculousness, the over the top. And I tried to carry that forward in some of the design elements you see around the bezel and the control layout here. I saw some other people that made their machines and added Plex to the parts that you would touch, and I think that added a lot to those, so I learned how to drill Plex for all of this machine, and I do think it gives it a little more weight and character. So yeah, overall I'm really happy with it, and I really hope someone plays it with me someday. Bring your own quarters. So thanks for taking a look, and see you around the game table.